It's widely known that being in your 20s is often a confusing and isolating time for most people. Maybe you're finishing off school, starting a new career, trying to figure out your love life, maybe you have a mortgage. Now, all these changes increase high levels of insecurity and fear within your life. So much so that this concept is called the quarter-life crisis, which is different from the midlife crisis. Quarter-life crisis has to do with high levels of hopelessness. In some way, shape, or form, you've probably experienced this. I know that I have. The second I hit 25 years old, I realized that I had a degree that wasn't serving me. I figured out that I was kind of lost and I wasn't living my true purpose, and I didn't even know how to express that as a professional. LinkedIn did a research and it showed that 75% of people that are from 25 to 33 years old have experienced a quarter-life crisis. And most of the times it has to do with the uncertainty of their career and personal life. That's why in this video, we're going to look at 3 tips in how to deal with quarter-life crisis coming up. If you're new here, my name is Christopher Dedian. Welcome to my channel, number one place for peak performance, entrepreneurship, and personal growth. So the first tip to deal with a quarter-life crisis is research yourself. Now, this is highly important for anybody that wants to succeed at extremely high levels. You have to have massive clarity of who you are. You have to figure out your strengths, your weaknesses, what do you love, what are your values, what are your goals, what are your ambitions. Now, the best way to go about this is through journaling or talking it through with some people that are really close to you. Now, within these 2 categories of journaling or talking, there's 2 points that I like to bring in the forefront. One is emotions and the other one is your value and goals. So when it comes to your emotions, you have to look at what are you currently feeling right now with your emotions. Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you overwhelmed? Are you fearful? And then once you look at these emotions, you have to be empathetic and not judge the emotions. Now, once you have all those emotions, start looking at the second part of this question is, why am I feeling these emotions? What are the triggers that are creating these emotions for me? So if I'm feeling sad, try to figure out what is that trigger, and is that a trigger that I need in my life? And if it's no, you take it off. If I'm feeling happy, what's that trigger? In that case, do I need more of that trigger? So you're really figuring out what are your emotions and how you work in that sense. The second part to the question you have to ask yourself is, what are your values and your goals? You're a young person starting off your life, so you have to figure out, what do you want to stand for? What are your ambitions? Where are you right now? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do within your career? As you ask these questions, it'll be easier for you to direct yourself towards that. Now, granted, this can be overwhelming as well. If you start asking yourself these questions and you don't know, that's okay as well. Just the fact that you're asking yourself these questions, you're giving time for your brain, your subconscious mind to find these answers. But at least ask yourself these questions. Now, the last question I love to ask myself is, what do I give myself permission for? Now, this is a big one because we often get caught up in life, the fast pace, it's making money, the family, this, that, and the other, but you don't take a step back and realize, hey, what am I allowing myself permission right now? Is it going on vacation? Is it allowing myself to fail? Is it allowing myself to be in this weird period of not figuring it out? Is it allowing myself to dive into a relationship? Whatever it is, ask yourself that last question. So once you get all of these aspects done, you'll have a better idea of who you are and what you stand for as an individual. If you see there's some value within this video so far, don't hesitate at all to give me a like, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the bell notification to find out when our weekly videos come out. So the second tip to deal with the quarter-life crisis is change your perspective. Now, it's often normal as human beings to compare ourselves. It happens to everybody in a subconscious level and sometimes in a conscious level. Back in the day, the only person you used to compare yourself with is the people that were around you, your neighbors, your colleagues, your people in your classroom. But nowadays, with social media being so readily available and the world just feeling smaller and smaller, it's so much easier for you to compare towards everybody around the world and look at what they're doing at that age, successful, money, the Instagram fame, whatever the case is, and it's easy for you to put yourself in a lower position believing that you haven't succeeded compared to somebody you're watching on social or X, Y, and Z. Now, you have to be aware of that and change your perspective, okay? Because usually what happens in that scenario is you're looking at somebody, you're idolizing somebody's step 75 and you're comparing it to your step 17. Now, it doesn't mean you're gonna not get there. It just means that this person is X amount of steps before you. Maybe they started before you. Maybe they put more time, whatever the case is. So understand that different perspective. That will diminish the stress of the quarter-life crisis of like, oh my God, I'm not there yet. How am I gonna make it? I haven't figured out my life yet. You're still extremely young. Just let it give it some time. It will be figured out. So change your perspective. Stop comparing yourself with others. Look at where you are and look at just getting better every single day, 1% at a time. The third tip to deal with a quarter life crisis is knowing that things will get better. Now, there's studies that show that you get an uptick in positive emotions as soon as your late 20s to early 30s and beyond. And why that is because as you get older, you're more refined as an individual and you know how to deal with certain emotions. So if there's a challenge that comes up, there's a difficulty, there's this emotion that pops up within your life, you know how to deal with it. A correlation or an example that we could look at is the same thing as a diamond, right? Diamonds don't get created without pressure and friction. So that difficult moments that you're passing through in your early 20s and beyond is preparing you to be a more solid individual. And studies show that. So as you get older, you're just going to be more happy. So trust that there is a period in time that you have to go through this little difficult moment to understand who you are as an individual. And if you go through these 3 tips, you'll get there faster. That's all that it is. Now, furthermore, if you're somebody just like me that is very goal driven and you put your structure towards, I want to achieve this, that, and the other, you're a prime candidate to fall into this loop of a quarter life crisis. Now, why that is because you might be perceiving or putting a projection of you want to hit a certain goal for X amount of time. And you have to allow yourself, once that happens, to be like, hey, if it happens at that time frame, that's great. If it happens earlier, that's even better. But most of the time, it might happen afterwards. But you cannot put yourself down in that regard. So a lot of pressure comes with that as well. So once you're in this equilibrium position and understand that everything takes time and with time things will get better, you will be so much more in sync and in control within your emotions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and hopefully it supported anybody that's going through a quarter life crisis, or if you're watching this and you know somebody that could really benefit from this video, please send this video to them. And the reason why I did this video is actually I asked my Instagram community if they wanted me to talk about this, and I asked how many people have gone through quarter life crisis, and I was extremely surprised of the results of people that have felt this throughout their life and wanted me to talk about it. So you guys could definitely connect with me on Instagram and we'll have these conversations in regards of what are some future videos that we should be putting out on this channel. Furthermore, the question today is, what are some of the tricks that you use to have a better mental health? Comment it down below. I'd love to see what the community is going to say on that end, and we'll start a great conversation. Furthermore, there's some more videos over here that could interest you. The first one over here is on my Peak Performance Mindset series. Over here on my Entrepreneurship series. Over here on my Book Review series. And you have my profile picture. You guys can click, subscribe, and join the family. I hope you have a blessed and grateful day.